Welcome back, everybody, to Rain on Your Parade with J.L. Covan. I'm J.L. Covan, here, as always, minus 3 episodes with producer Mike.
Hi, everybody. Hi, JL. How you doing?
I promised one. I didn't promise, but I read the comments, and to one particularly thirsty fan in the comments, I won't mention the fact that Mike's shirt is deeply unbuttoned, revealing Austin Powers level Italian chest hair.
Armand Coleman summer.
That'll probably be a trend.
Coleman.
That'll be a trend on like some listicle.
It's already a trend.
Like,
I was just ahead of the trend. Yeah, I saw that coming in memes all before the summer started.
But I promised you an episode, as you once so memorably said on an earlier episode of Rain on Your Parade in Brooklyn, that I almost speak in hot takes. Mm-hmm. And this episode is going to be one of the hottest, I think.
No.
But let's just, let's
sunblock.
Let's talk about a couple of fun things. I had to get a new suit. I only have one suit for my larger version, as I like to call it, the JL 3.0 in size and beta version in quality.
Okay.
So I had to get a new suit because I have to do 2 days a week in the office. And you as a fashionista know I'm not rolling. I don't care who I'm representing, what borough, how poor the people are. No. Not coming to court in the same suit back to back.
Yeah, I would never, but I figured that you might.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something, Mike.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, brother. R.I.P. racist.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Never liked him as a wrestler, and then really just felt liberated when it was like, oh, you're a MAGA racist.
Yeah, bad guy.
But to be fair, Peter Thiel did help Hulk Hogan make a ton of money by suing Gawker out of existence because he made a sex tape with the wife of his friend.
Bubba the Love Sponge
wife.
Yeah.
So, it's sad because clearly this man was the heir apparent to Trump in the White House. That's probably the saddest part of all this. Is like
Hogan 2028?
Yeah, who takes over for MAGA now that Hogan is dead? Big, blonde, racist, rich, tool of the far-right elites.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Back in the day, I could have worn the same suit every day, and it was just, the physique was physiquing. Yeah. But now I need the supplements. I need the different sartorial looks. So went to Men's Warehouse.
Oh.
No.
You're going to like the way you look.
Yeah. Well, I don't guarantee it because I didn't get anything there. And I'll explain why. But my thing is I have my one blue suit, which is like for when I need a suit and for Trump shows. Yeah. I need to lose a lot of weight in the next 6 months. And I don't want these suits to be I didn't want to get let me get 3 or 4 suits and then be like, oh, now my weight is where I want. And I've wasted thousands of dollars on clothes. So I go in and it's Men's Warehouse, listeners, men's. Okay. And I go in and I'm looking at the employees and 7 years ago, I needed to rent a suit for my dad's funeral. And I wanted to come out with a satirical diet book called Get Shredded for Your Dad's Funeral. How to lose 20 pounds in a week so that you can fit into the suit in your closet.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. Okay. So rented a suit from a nice gentleman named Link. His name was Link. And he wrote me a note. This was at Men's Warehouse where they rent suits. And he actually wrote me a note. I know it was good business salesperson practice, but he wrote me a note saying, sorry about your father when you're ready for more clothes. Because I said to him, I'm not going to be fat forever. Yeah. That was 7 years ago. Now I did, but to be honest, I did shed a ton of weight in 2022 before the old double shoulder surgery.
Yes.
And special mishap and knee surgery and just bitterness reaching new levels. But I was going to ask, is Link here? On the off chance, it's just in case. It's 7 years later, but you never know. Some guys are lifers in their job. So, but I didn't have to ask if Link was there. There were 4 salespeople in Men's Warehouse. Now, this show is a safe space for women and a show that honors and respects women.
That's right.
Born of a strong woman.
Right.
Cursed at recently by a strong woman.
Right. Nearly disowned recently by a strong woman.
So when I go in, though, to Men's Warehouse to get a suit for the first time in many years from this place, and I see 3 women and a kid the one male, it's like, oh, my nephew is here. Is he wearing the one suit he currently owns? Is he going to sell me a suit? And so who do I get to help me in this comedy of errors? A 4'10" Latina woman, because who else would know big and tall men's suits than Danny DeVito's Latina bizarro world?
Sure. Doppelganger?
Not doppelganger, but not correspondent. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. But not compatriot. Corresponding. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Out comes the female version of Fantasy Island. And so we're trying on different jackets and stuff and things. And she was relatively helpful. Like, she wasn't bad. I'm making a joke. But I also did wonder, in a society, Mike, that now, wears sweatpants to the club, pajamas to work, and suits only for TikTok videos. Yep. Clearly, the suit industry is suffering. Like, the Brooks Brothers next to Men's Warehouse closed for many years.
Yeah.
That I don't think that got enough play in like how we're changing as a culture. Obviously, some influencer needs to just start talking about, I love the feel of a suit. Mm-hmm. I have 20 million followers. I'm 19. Suit buying is back. Yeah. Men want to be men again. Crazy. So, wearing a suit is one of the pleasures of being a man.
I think so,
one of the harmless masculine things. Yeah. Like, there's no toxicity there. It's just, hey, that's one of the, just like a woman who likes to wear heels.
Something feminine about it.
Yeah. They powerful, sexy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, men can wear them too, Mike.
Of course.
Men can wear from the LGBTQ community all the way to presidents.
I love
heels are okay.
Spanish heel.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't need it. But God gave me all the heels I needed.
Okay.
But anyway, I left there with but I just kept wondering, did all the men, maybe this is where toxic masculinity comes in, where it's like the men could no longer make this the breadwinning profession, so they've left, and now, women in between Lyft shifts or Uber shifts are coming and selling suits to men, along with their young nephew. So I thought that was a bad sign but then I went to Joseph A. Bank, and they're always reliable. But man, do I miss the days when I was in high school and college where it'd be like, Joseph A. Bank, buy one suit for $150, get seven free, get an entire franchise free.
Yeah.
Reliable. It was like reliable. And the funny thing is, my entire closet was Joseph A. Bank suits. But when you're fucking yoked, nobody's like, oh, what kind of suit is that? They're like, look at that guy, wear the fuck out of that suit. Now I need, like, this is where me and Trump are similar. It's like, I'm such a fucking melting candle right now in terms of my physique that it's like, can we really make this cut like as awesome as possible so I don't look like shit? But that was me buying a suit. So President Trump, if you're listening, and I know you do, this could be a place of bipartisanship. You become a suit influencer. Start getting men to wear more suits. I could back you in that. I feel like that would be not harmful.
Yeah.
That's a place where I can meet with Trump, and
sure.
We're calling August 1st is suit day. We're calling it suit day, and you get in your big suit and you look at the ladies love the show. You can't say that anymore. You can't say the lady. Well, they do. They love the suit. They love the suit. Thank you. So next thing I saw, this is a very brief one, just a check-in of like warning signs have been around us. Whether it was Bo Burnham in 2015 talking about celebrity lip sync and going, so culture's dead. Yeah. Culture's dead. That was 10 years ago. When I say it, when it impacts my career, I'm a mean, hateful, spiteful piece of shit. But Bo Burnham said it in 2015. He gave us fair warning. But I watched the rewatched. I hadn't seen it in a while. But after seeing F1 in the theaters, Laura and I decided, let's watch a couple like race car movies, some critically acclaimed race car movies. So I rewatched it, but barely remembered it. Senna, this documentary on Ayrton Senna, a legendary Brazilian F1 driver.
Okay.
Died tragically at like 34. But he's like considered one of the greats and like the last great of the computer tells you when you're tired and you got to adjust this. And in the movie, other than the pending tragedy that is coming, it was very telling that late in his career, he was like, it's like, why even do this? It's not driving.
Right.
Like, and I thought we've never, ever stopped.
Yeah.
People warn throughout in different fields. And I agree. The driving is insane, but I'm like, yeah, once the then is it just like who's got the guts to get in like this fucking self-driving spaceship at 200 miles an hour? Because it's like the driving is like that's the skill.
Right.
That's the skill. And and if you want to call that shit sports, I get it, because a lot of these guys are fit, the focus, the stamina. There is athleticism and physicality involved, of course. But I just thought to myself, because I never pass up a moment to lecture Laura on the fate of society, as she looks at me and just goes, but that's what I kept thinking. I'm like, everywhere we go, you can't tell me that's like, it's one thing if a car is driving me to the airport. That's cool. But for sports, it's the same thing I said about Simone Biles. If you could invent a robot that could do gymnastics as well as Simone Biles, who gives a shit?
Right.
And the thing is, if you're driving a car, show me the instincts, the skill, the speed, the risk taking, all the human elements to it. So just check out Senna if you want to just, if we eventually will form a playlist of here's the top 25 things over the last 50 years that JL says prove that we're done as a society. And then the last thing, Mike, I started my job today.
Yeah, I need to hear all about that.
It was really all the like sign up tech stuff, reading like the manual. I have to learn a lot about like landlord tenant court, and then there's the technical aspects of filing things and using the computer system. I feel like a real Luddite. Even though some of these things are things I'm familiar with, putting it all together into one job where you have to learn like the law, the computer system, the filing system, and then like just how to do this job well and interact with people. It turns out when people are getting, losing their homes, humor might not be the thing. Like my greatest asset might be my greatest weakness at this job. But here's what I did notice today, because I wasn't doing any substantive work, nor will I talk about that on the show, obviously. But 167th and Grand Concourse, that's where I get off the D train, and I'm right there. I'm a couple blocks from work. And I'm probably going to lose a lot of weight on this job. Like today, my meals consisted of a Larabar and a small Ziploc of cashews and then a small Ziploc of walnuts. That's what I ate today at work.
Larabar's got a lot of sugar, though.
Not really. And it's fruit.
Just kidding,
2 ingredients, bro. It says right there. It says right there, dates.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. Dates are having a moment thanks to Larabars.
Yeah,
every Larabar is like, this contains petroleum, coal, and dates. Nature's sugary glue.
Yeah.
Dates. I mean, you want to talk about a food desert. Now, 161st, where I used to work, where Yankee Stadium is, that's where the Bronx DA's office and the criminal court are. Yes, there's a lot of fast food, but there's a lot of like restaurants. Like if you need a salad, you can get a salad. If you want like a steak and potatoes meal, it's there. There's a Hard Rock. There's just a lot of stuff around there. Mostly bad, but if you want something good, you can get it. I walked 4 blocks down the Grand Concourse. There was nothing. And then I walked back up to 167th. McDonald's was the closest thing that wasn't a bodega. And I did have something else. I had a medium fries and a black coffee for my official lunch.
Okay.
Because I was like, I don't know what else to do.
Shit that out quick.
Not really. Every morning, totally regular. I have no respect for people who arrive at work and take a shit. None.
Okay.
Train your body. First of all,
people should be more disciplined.
First of all, I've joked with my friend. I have traveled 46 hours on an Amtrak. I hit that hotel room, bam, not a minute before. It's about respect for me. It's about respect for others. And I do look askance at people who show up to work at like 9:05 and are like, oh, see you in 20. I'm like, 20? You're on the clock, first of all. Okay? And secondly, disgusting. And don't you want to shit at home? Don't you have any control?
So you don't take shits in public, period?
I have 3 times maybe in my life, and I was
your life?
Yes, I was dreadfully sick. I had to rush into Cornell Hospital on the Upper East Side on like the East 70s my brother was driving me home and I had like food poisoning or something. And it was the kind where like you're cramping and sweating because you have to go to the bathroom so bad. And I almost puked in his car because it was like, I got to get out of here. And I walked up. A hospital is a good place to look like a disaster.
Yeah.
So I walk up to the security guard and I was like, I looked like the end of Airplane when he's trying to land the plane, the amount of sweat.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am sorry. I am extremely sick right now. Is there a bathroom anywhere near here that I can use? And the guy was like, and that's what it takes. It takes like illness for me to do that.
That is really something.
In the words of Robert De Niro during the diner scene in Heat, that's the discipline. So food desert doesn't, here's a political statement. Mamdani, put a fucking store on every block because there are neighborhoods in this city where you're like, this isn't even a good bodega.
Yeah.
And that's not proper nutrition and access.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even go there for bodega products.
Yeah.
And like McDonald's, I know they're a big bad company. Like, thank you for your service. It was something, but it's incredible just walking around and seeing bodegas. That's it. Where everything, by the way, is more.
Yeah.
Partly because it has to be. Partly because they have to charge too. I don't think it's always just predatory on the community because you need the community to service you. So you're not trying to maybe tell them to fuck off. But yeah, that's so before I've even started servicing the poor of the Bronx in terms of their housing situation, all it takes is one walk around your work for a half hour to be like, oh my God, we are failing on so many levels. And both the theoretical progressives who are always fighting and aren't knee deep in the shit, and the conservatives who will never even see it from with binoculars, a lot of problems. So on that happy note, and that hint of going after Republicans, brother Mike, it's called leaving hints for the people.
It's a tease.
Yeah, it's called a tease. We're teasing it. We're teasing a trailer. It's like a trailer, but it's a tease. We'll be back after this break. And we're back. Mike, how was that break?
Rather anti-Semitic.
Yeah, that was, I have Tourette's. No, I was just commenting on, every week it seems, only the most hardcore, I would think, supporters of Israel can just kind of stay completely hardcore. There's two things in particular. Obviously this, when members of the Israel military are saying, yeah, nobody was stealing food. Oh, you mean the entire premise of why you were like attacking people going for food is because Hamas was stealing it? Your own people in your military are saying that's not true.
Huh?
Like I said, but Bibi listens to the show.
Right.
Bibi Netanyahu.
Right. Yeah, Bibi's a big fan.
Yeah, and he said, the righteous prick is now known as Red on Your Parade. He has, in fact, told me to not stop. And thanks to the big dick leadership of Donald Trump, we're not going to stop until everybody, including Jews who don't like me, we'll throw them in as well. Because I have sworn to protect myself, Israel, at all costs. Thank you. The soothing baritone of
Bibi Netanyahu.
And I made it. I said to Laura 2 weeks ago, I was like, I want to do a cartoon called Baby Netanyahu.
Baby Netanyahu.
And he's just like a terror in a nursery. And I then went, give me all the toys. And she just looked at me and said, so you'd have the adult voice with the baby? And I said, yes, that would be kind of part of the fun. And she went, and went back to the TV.
God bless her. God bless that woman. Just incredible.
But baby Netanyahu would be fun.
It's like a funny premise for a second.
Give me all the toys. Every episode is just, I want all the toys. Why does baby Netanyahu have such a deep voice? Because I'm tougher and more of a warrior than you. Give me the toys. And if you don't give me the toys, you're an anti-Semite. But yeah, and I don't mean to make light of what's going. I do. I mean, I'm making light of him, not of what's going on, obviously. But it's like every week that goes by, you're just like, okay, now it's really bad.
It's been like that for a few years.
But when you get like confirmation of certain things from within the group that's been part of the problem, that's what I mean. Like, it's almost like, oh, this is our fifth smoking gun now.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're going, well, October 7th was atrocious, and I don't want to like get in and just be like, no, that you can't do that. You can't. Like, war is war to a certain extent, but it's pretty bad, obviously, and yeah, I don't know what we're doing, but
bees,
bees. That's why I said the theme was going to be bees, and you keep quoting an Arrested Development thing that I don't remember.
It's when he's They're I forget how they brought it up, but they bring up going into business of something. Someone says something about beads, and Job thinks it's bees.
Well, I knew Job had to be part of that.
Bees.
Bees. Michael. Bees. Michael.
I'm going to find it, and I'll just play it during the break.
Illusions, Michael. Tricks are things whores do for money. But I don't know. I wanted to, like, they're just, you see news stories every so often that we don't maybe make a topic here because I don't feel like I can sustain an entire hour on the nuances and specifics of what's going on over there. But, there's two things I thought with basically the pending famine in Gaza. And it's twofold. One is, what the fuck? Like, whether you want to say something is genocide, and I understand the people saying it's not, and I understand why people now, I feel like there were people calling it a genocide, 3 days in.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
You don't have to be okay with the war and how it's being executed. But like, a week in, it's like, Genocide Joe. What? Huh? Come on, man. But famine, like starving people, this seems to be like much more on solid, like evident, like there's no feelings, there's no vibes here. It's like, this is what's happening. So part of me goes like, what the fuck? People still defending this? Like famine, kids starving, women can't breastfeed their kids. Yeah. Like at some point, like if you want to, I'm totally fine if you want to draw the line at no, genocide is a specific charge reserved. Without saying yes or no, but famine seems like, well, there's like serious starvation going on. Like World Food Program is like, they're starving. Everybody's starving. So that's one thing. But then, of course, being a little bit of a devil's advocate, part of me goes, but there's like a famine. Actually, there's also a real famine in like South Sudan. Yeah. And I'm like, and that's where that's where you give there's like that moment where, Bill Maher is going to get on and go, okay, but, okay, so Israel's starving and we're very upset. Nobody cares about South Sudan now?
Yeah.
Nobody cares about South Sudan? Because then you can then be like, so it must be anti-Semitism.
Right.
And like I've always said, with this has always come some anti-Semitism. Like there's no doubt. But the starving kids, let's call that should be our red line, whether you're pro-Israel, pro the war, anti-Israel, anti the war. Like I feel like the forced starving.
About the kids in cages here, and then when
not me.
No,
not
you were
me.
okay with that.
That's why this is more important because I didn't freak out about that.
I see.
You see what I mean?
Yes,
so like,
I do. Yeah.
So my moral authority here is even stronger.
Yeah.
Because kids in cages, I took a nap.
Yeah.
But this is so it just bothers me. But at the same time, I'm like, let's try to stop all famine. Let's try to stop all starving children. And if it has to be done with a gun, so be it. And if not, great. But that's my take. That's the first hot take today. Starving kids, especially when done intentionally. It's bad enough when it's just bad luck. Mm-hmm. When it's done intentionally, this I do not forgive. But until then, BB, I shall not break the peace. Very good, Don Corleone. But I want to talk very briefly. I just think this is a good hot take. But I've been thinking of a joke. And I'm wondering if it's not so much a joke, as in maybe like a humorous, thoughtful podcast point. Maybe I can turn into both.
Sure.
But I've been thinking recently, with the cuts, all the cuts that Trump did, and every day, if you bother to read the paper, you're going to see so many things that are big deals that there's just not enough room on the front page for. And that's been the Bannon method, is like throw shit at them, what does he say? Like overwhelm them or drown them in something. He has some term for basically just do 5 million bad things and then they don't know what to stop.
Right.
Which is such savvy leadership. Once again.
I mean, it's unfortunately brilliant, is it not?
Oh, no. But it's like, I love people who will be like, oh, Trump's owning them. I mean, yeah, he's lighting your house on fire.
Right.
But man, crafty politics. You gotta respect the politics, though.
Yeah, yes. Right.
He's fucking my wife in my burning house. But man, that's leadership. So, but I see all these different cuts, these agencies, these things that people we're not invested in knowing what our government does. And if you don't know what it does, I don't mean to single anybody out, but when I read articles about the people of color moving, the shift. Now, of course, it's easy to shift up when you were getting decimated. If you had 10% of black people and now you're at 20%, that's huge, but it's also 20% because you started from dog shit.
Yeah.
But when I read those articles about but we had 8 years of Obama and it didn't stop this and that. The solution, as I've always said for the last 5 years, we'll say that's always.
Sure.
More Democrats equals more action, but there's a critical mass needed. I'll bring up my favorite example is childhood tax credit. Not renewed in 2021. Not renewed because Joe Manchin, the Republicanist of Democrats, said they might use it for drugs, even though we had evidence that there was a 40% reduction in childhood poverty under this supplemental money going to families with kids. 40% reduction. It kind of ties into the let's not have starving kids. You know what the opposite of starving kids is? Fewer poor kids. That's like the reverse of that. That's like I'll say it here, Mike. I'm very pro fewer kids being poor. Cancel the show if you have to.
Sizzling.
Cancel it if that's too hot. But I'm very for that.
Yeah.
And when it came up, 48 Democrats voted for it. 2 didn't. And it was one of those tiebreaker. We would have needed VP Harris to break the tie. 0 Republicans voted for it.
Yeah.
And the lesson, I don't even want to call them low information. I want to call them willfully no information. Democrats can't get anything done. I don't know, 96% of Democrats voted for this. Seems to me the issue is we need more Democrats. And I know for some people out there like, but I don't like Hakeem Jeffries. Bernie, I'm Bernie. I like Bernie. Well, if you get 63 Democrats and as long as none of them are Manchin or 2 of them or 3 of them are Manchin, and I know this is mathematically impossible because we're a dumb country with a lot of dumb people. But if you got 61 to 63 Democrats in the Senate, you'll get your big progressive fucking shit. That's just, I'm sorry, that is going to be what happens. Because every time in the last 100 years, we've had huge Democratic majorities with Democratic presidents. You got the New Deal, the Great Society, Obamacare. Yeah. And then, sorry to bring up Joe Biden. I know he fucking sucked. Biggest climate and infrastructure bill in generations with 0 majority in the Senate. That will one day be respected as a marvel of legislating and politics. But my point being, point to me what the fucking Republic, and you got to go back to Eisenhower or maybe Nixon with like some of the environmental stuff that he didn't yet know he wasn't supposed to do, I guess. But you really got to go way back before you get a Republican where it's like, but what about all these huge things we have? Like interstate highway system, I think was Eisenhower. Okay. Who'd be a woke pussy general today? Like Trump would be like, did he really win World War II? I think it was more MacArthur. A lot of people said, no, excuse me. A lot of people said Eisenhower. And when he sent those troops to the South to help blacks go to schools with whites, the most DEI general in history, maybe the most DEI general. No, Dwight Eisenhower. You can't spell Dwight Eisenhower without DEI. Very strong, very strong. We don't like him. We don't like him a lot. He's one of the worst, actually. But you got to go back then. It's like Reagan. Well, Reagan destroyed the country, but he did it while giving people's eardrums a hand job.
Right.
And I can credit that. That's what I find so baffling about Trump is it's like going to sleep to a screeching chalkboard. It's like, oh, the soothing sounds of Donald Trump being my president. But what has a the two, I've been eligible to vote since 2000 in presidential elections. George W. Bush, Donald J. Trump. That's what the party of Lincoln has given us in my adult fucking lifetime.
Yeah.
That's stunning. Like if you just put your head around that. The Iraq War and January 6th. These are the most significant contributions of Republican presidents in my lifetime. And what have Republicans in Congress done? The best moment is probably McCain going, not killing Obamacare.
Yeah.
It was not going along with Trump. That was a significant moment. So once again, before I get to my specific example, I just have to say, how ignorant of history, how little do you have to watch? Like Democrats didn't do anything. And it's like, and you have to understand on a basic level, the majorities that are needed to pass laws and to make things happen. And that a president or a Democrat is not, doesn't have a magic wand and he's not John Wick. He can't just do things just without. And if you'd paid attention, you'd see like people will give credit to Trump for doing unconstitutional things that get struck down. And they're like, but at least he's doing something, but he's not.
Right.
But he's not. Like, Michael, if I hit a 3-pointer and then the ref calls me for traveling, I didn't hit a 3-pointer. I didn't. That's how that works. Like, to put it in sports terms for people, if you hit a ball 500 feet and it's foul, it's not a big home run.
Oh, hold on now.
Shit. Shit.
It's a baseball reference. Gotta scrap the whole episode.
Fuck me.
You were good through the basketball, but then
I don't know why. I
got greedy.
Michael.
There should be a buzzer.
Like if we really had, it'd be like an alarm goes off, like a code red.
It would be take me out to the ball game.
Dun, 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 dun. Get out! Oh my God! My God, it's baseball.
Oh my God, it's Space Pete Rose.
Oh, I loved his cameo. Did you ever show you the photo from his documentary?
Which one?
You saw the documentary before I did.
Yeah.
I took pictures multiple times of when he was doing cameos.
Yeah.
And his very curvy Latin assistant.
Yes.
Was like, I mean, literally like, is somebody taking ass photos of you? Because the back was, she was like, and the back was arched. And it was just like, and I said, she's obviously out of work. Does she need a new cameo celebrity to hold the camera for? Laura, you know Rosa is just my assistant. Lock the door, Rosa. We're doing cameos.
Glasses on. Glasses off.
Shirt off. Phone up. Phone down. Shirt off. Pants off. Anyway, Arrested Development, everybody. Catch up. It's one of the great comedies, if not the greatest. So, this is the usual lesson of you've got to know how government works and realize that the entire problem of the 21st century in the world. What about Hamas? And what about, right, obviously, Republicans in America. No, talk about a terrorist organization. Oh boy, he went there. Yes. I always meander and then I come on the hottest of hot takes. The American Republican Party is a terrorist organization. If you care about life, the climate, the poor, equality, decency. If you don't care about those things, no, they're not. But I would say on those topics, they are a terrorist organization because there's a nihilism. There's a faith-based Trump-o-Akbar to their movement, which is like, we don't care. It's low taxes and it's Trump and fuck your facts. Fuck everybody who doesn't go along with this. I want to stay a high priest. I want to stay an honored priest of the Republican Party, and that means obeying the fatwas issued by fat fuck Trump. He says it, and like a pope, it is now law. It can contradict completely what we just said, what we believe, what we've held for generations, doesn't matter. There's a new fat, racist Republican Pope, and his name's Trump, and we bow down to him. So if you don't understand all those things, then I can't trust you to make the only sensible decision when it comes to voting. And I do find the progressives, because if I were in New York, I am in New York, but if I were a resident of New York, I would vote for Mamdani. I'd be like, good. I agree with so much of what he's saying on policy. I just don't think it's as practical. But now that he's won, the primary, I'm a Democrat. I like what he's doing. Let's give it a shot. Let's give, in all cheesiness, let's give helping people a chance. It's not quite give peace a chance, but let's give helping a chance instead of saying, fuck you. We've tried that. Yeah. Let's try helping people. And now my thesis is that Democrats, wherever they land on the spectrum of helping, are about helping. Maybe they don't help enough for you. Maybe they promise too much, but it's all on the side of let's help. And then there's a side of like, what's help?
Yeah.
No, please tell me more about this concept of help. It sounds weird. That's how far gone they are. So that's why I'm always like, have the primary, have the debate, but then back the winner, because that's the side of progress. Maybe this election won't be enough for your taste, but I tell you what won't be progress, the Republicans. So the reason I thought of all this and the joke that I had and the hot take, it's not so hot, but it's a little thoughtful. Bees. I remember I think it was under Obama. It might have been under Obama, but where Republicans were, going through the budget line by line, $420 trillion for a helicopter built in Alabama. Totally fine. Bees. It was like a study. It was like,
I do remember this.
Democrats will study bees for whatever it was, $10 million to study bees. Where are my ignorant fuck-ups who don't know anything? Isn't that awful? Aren't Democrats the worst? Studying bees. First of all, $10 million is lint to the federal. It's not even lint. You don't even notice it there. It's not even lint to the federal government. It's a lot to you, you dummy. It's a lot to me. Not as much, but it's still a lot. It's still a lot, okay? But it's a lot, of course, to us. To the federal government, it's not even lint. But it sounds good. It sounds like bees, they just fucking shit on flowers and sting you. They sting you if you fucking get too close. That's all I know about Honey Smacks. Or no, not Honey Smacks. Honey Nut Cheerios. Okay. I keep reading articles every so often about the diminishing population of bees. And I don't know if this is a real quote or if it's just apocryphal, but Einstein rumored to have said, once the bees go, we go. Because they pollinate. They keep fucking oxygen going. Kind of important. I don't breathe in bees. I don't breathe bees. I breathe air, brother. I breathe air, not bees. Democrats is saying we breathe bees. You ever seen? And they say they're smart. I don't think so. Trump 2028. And here's the thing about bees, why they're such an impressive creature. God or science, evolution, or both, maybe hand in hand, decided, hey, bees, this thing that's come about in 5,000 or 4 billion years, take your pick, you serve a really important function. You serve what a little guy to serve such an integral function in this ecosystem. You keep the flowers and the plants going. They keep, whether it's, and in some cases it's crops, it's things we eat. In some cases it's just pollinating things to continue flora in our society. But you're annoying. But I don't want you to be like one of those fucking mosquitoes that has no defense. We're going to give you a fucking stinger. So if anybody fucks with you, an animal fucks with you, they're going to know next time they might kill you. Okay? You might not return from this mission, but if your brethren fuck up enough animals, They're going to go, bees, stay away. And then they'll actually be helping themselves. They benefit twice. They don't get stung, and you keep doing an important job. But what God and Darwin didn't bank on is the modern Republican. This new strain of unstoppable stupidity that goes, bees? His fuck needs bees is annoying. I don't like bees. Bees is stupid. You get on me, I smack a bee, old Democrat gonna cry. You vegan? You vegan? You homosexual? You don't eat plants in your mouth? So, evolution didn't bank on a creature that would benefit from bees and be warned to stay away from bees, but then we would destroy the climate that bees need. I would call that the bees need. And then but guess what? There's some humans who still go, wait, climate change is killing bees. Why don't we study this so we can fix this eventually catastrophic problem? And that's when the virus known as the modern Republican went, $10 million to study bees? I don't think so. And that, in a nutshell, is where we are. I feel like the bee, people marvel at different animals and organisms and things, but the bee is such this interesting, small, perfectly designed to survive. It's been given weaponry. It's been given nature's Second Amendment, to put it in Republican terms. Right? It's like, oh, shit. Yeah. You know? Stand your ground, Bumblebee. I'll back up. But once we fucked them up, we did what any intelligent creature would do. We studied, what are we doing to this important creature? And the modern Republican has outdumbed. They haven't outsmarted, but they've outdumbed God and Darwin. Because where do you come up with a solution where you go, well, no, what if we love how nature interacts and it all, but what if a human decides, I'd rather own the libs and die? Charles Darwin, do you have an answer to that? That could never happen because it makes absolutely no sense. Did Darwin have a beard?
I'm sure he did.
Yeah. And it's like, well, you're stupid now, Darwin, because bees are going to die one day and then we're going to die.
You just did.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Okay,
yep,
I know
one. Yep, you're right.
Okay, perfect. But I don't, and I know, see, that's why it's maybe not, it's more of if I were doing a Mark Maron comedy special, that would, fucking bees. Fucking bees sting you, and Republicans are like, I don't give a fuck. But that's the truth. Like, that is to me such a small, it's such a perfect symbol. The bee, both in nature and in our story, are small and integral. And yet what they do and what we're doing to them is monumental. And I wish I could reach more people with this message, more Republicans, and just be like, making fun of libs and has to, at some point, you know, committing societal and species suicide because you don't like Democrats feels a little much. So I can, stupid I can deal with, but bad people who are stupid, you should go out like fucking Macaulay Culkin and My Girl. How about that for a way to tie up beesness on this section? We'll be right back with Comedy Talk. And we're back, everybody. Mike, you couldn't stop talking about how much you were looking forward to Comedy Talk during the break.
Well, it's my favorite.
Yeah. Next week, big news, Scott Pelley will be back to do the Punchdown of the Week.
It's a Rain on Your Parade exclusive.
It is, because I think we got him to renew at the right time because he's extremely mad at 60 Minutes and CBS. Yes. Mostly CBS. His colleagues he's still cool with, of course.
Yes,
but
of course.
Anyway, two Punchdown of the Week choices. One is a joke punchdown, classic, but then one is just one of those, oh, shut up. I said, if you've seen any of these videos, I said, this, quote, debate 20 people in a room nonsense should be called talk cocky. You know, because Book has the K. It's not the greatest, but it got a lot of...
Just a bit of a long way to go.
It got a lot of chuckles, though.
Okay. All right. I believe it.
And then someone wrote, or this is why it's a punchdown of the week, or gangbang talk about it, pull a train to Palooza.
Right. Okay. So it's worse. That's definitely
much worse.
Yeah, that's worse.
So even if you thought mine was a B-, that's an F, because it's like I'm using the K in talk to at least create partially a bridge to bukkake and talk. Yours is just nothing, not a pun, not nothing.
Right.
Okay, so that's nominee one, and then where was this other one? Oh my goodness! Oh, here. And now this is just your classic. My video from Toronto, which has like 2.5 million views on YouTube, pretty popular. His comment: "This guy is smart and funny and cool, but his face is not orange enough. Then it would be perfect." And I just replied, "What a great insight."
Yeah. The first guy's worse, I think.
Okay, good. And it's a classic punchdown. And okay. So congratulations. Talk Baka Kuga Ganga Bangalooza. You are maybe running for punchdown of the year, actually. Okay. So I watched Happy Gilmore 2 this weekend, and I kind of predicted in my blog that went up Thursday where I said, was Shooter McGavin right? Because if you think about it, Happy Gilmore, as I rewatched it, and it's my favorite Adam Sandler movie, but he was kind of an influencer before there was influencing. He was kind of like, even when he was finishing 30th, he was more like Anna Kournikova.
Yeah.
But
what a good comparison.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But with the bros, but it was like, even when he was bad at golf, he was like the most popular on the tour.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought Shooter McGavin was, if in hindsight, sure. And I said, I may look like Happy Gilmore and have the temper of Happy Gilmore, but I have the soul of Shooter McGavin.
Yeah.
For all its good and bad.
Yeah.
And he ages very well in Happy Gilmore too. But I said, I wonder if there's going to be a redemption Cobra Kai style, like a redemption for Shooter McGavin, where it's like, hey, some of the old school stuff that you were trying to defend, you're right. It shouldn't just be a circus free for all. There's certain things about the sport that should be honored and kept.
But I'm guessing that didn't happen in Happy Gilmore too.
No, but it does in a way, because this rival group is like taking the Happy Gilmore ethos to like the most ridiculous carnival proportions.
Okay.
So that Happy is actually on the traditionalist team. Right. So it offers a redemption of some for Shooter McGavin.
Right.
That it's like, hey, now we're kind of on the same team because we both agree. It's kind of like what you wish Democrats would do when they see a true threat. Instead, if this were Democrats, Happy and Shooter would just end the show fighting while the rival league wins. But I will say this. I enjoyed most of it because it represented something, there was some really stupid stuff, of course, and some stuff that was very hammy. But there were enough chuckles for me where I said, sometimes you just want to have a good dumb laugh. And of course, for like the middle part with the rival golf, it gets kind of just not as fun. I was just like, this isn't that funny. This is kind of dumb. But I didn't mind it as like an hour and 50 minutes at home, just trying to relax. It was not bad. And I will say this as an add-on. My mom, who was recovering in my home for 4 days before going home yesterday, and for everybody who, was concerned, thank you. It seems like she's, we're not out of the woods in terms of all tests, but her recovery is very strong considering taking little chunks out of a lung of an 81-year-old woman. But Robert De Niro is like, I try to get her to watch good movies or like, this was really good, or I think you might like this. She's like, what's that about? De Niro's in it. Doesn't matter if it's a bag of shit or a classic. Okay. It's like, De Niro.
Yeah.
And I put on the Sebastian Maniscalco De Niro comedy. I think it's like About My Dad. Mm-hmm. And she was really enjoying it. And I just sat there and realized this is a little bit of a lesson. That's why I'm ending with it. I can be a hater. And some of that is, I wouldn't call it charm, but it's something close to charm for some people. But you start to realize some movies are just, my mom wants to see De Niro. And if the comedy is a little obvious, she's 81.
Right.
And she was cracking a smile and enjoying watching her Bobby D.
Yeah.
And, Maniscalco, Acting, maybe not the best. But I will say this. De Niro, an award I gave to David Harbour for Gran Turismo. He tied last year on my movie awards. Gran Turismo, David Harbour, the sheriff from Stranger Things,
Yeah, of course.
gives a performance where it was like, this movie was solid, but why are you going for an Oscar? And I don't mean that sarcastically, like he was over. I mean, why are you so good in this just run-of-the-mill, solidly enjoyable movie? Same with Russell Crowe in The Pope's Exorcist, where I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
why are you're giving me Jeffrey Wigand and Maximus. You're giving me peak Crow in a dog shit movie. You're dragging this dog shit movie to the 8th seed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I felt like David Harbour, the movie was not nearly as bad, but David Harbour, I was like, this guy's really good in this movie.
Yeah.
And De Niro is like really good. It's a comedy, so it's not like he's doing, but he's really good still when he wants to be.
Yeah.
And I thought the Alto Nights, I took my mom to see that, just like I took her to see Killer of the Flower. It's got De Niro. She's going.
Yeah.
And he's good. And she enjoyed it. She was like, am I coming back for the rest of us? I was like, well, I hope you're coming back. But she was enjoying it. And I just thought, maybe I got to sometimes tone it down on shitting on people's enjoyment. Like a,
you think?
like a Republican.
Oh, man.
Like a Republican. Like a Republican. I'm a bad, like, you know, I now have a daughter, so I don't hate women.
Right.
I'm like, I've seen my mom enjoy a mediocre comedy, so maybe I need to let people have their enjoyment. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. So, everybody, thank you. I have to run for a train because I got to go to sleep soon. Mike, thank you as always. Catch me in Newark, August 1st. Queens, Astoria, Queens for a big Trump show, August 7th at Grove 34. Check out the Patreon if you want to support the show, get more content from me, patreon.com/JOCovan. And, go check out my albums. Go check out my special. My Trump in Canada special will finally be out, I believe, in early August. Hallelujah. Thank you, everybody who watches, who listens. 5-star review it on an audio platform. And I will see you next Thursday.